Mars has always been sold as a dead planet. But NASA's rovers captured a strange blur in the Martian sky exactly where a rare interstellar object was predicted to pass. They also found scattered metallic wreckage twisted as if something had violently broken apart, raising questions about contamination on Mars. Let's uncover 25 unexplained discoveries released about the red planet. NASA's Perseverance rover was scanning the Martian sky for atmospheric data when something unexpected appeared, a faint blur exactly where scientists had predicted the interstellar object 3I Borisov would pass. When the image was examined closely, experts noticed the light around it didn't behave normally. It bent, flickered, and seemed to react to the object itself. Later analysis by a group of scientists proposed a theory that it wasn't a comet at all, but a massive unknown object traveling through space. The unresolved issue lies in the light distortion patterns. On Earth, similar effects are caused by strong electromagnetic fields or gravitational lensing, neither of which 3I Borisov should generate if it's only ice and rock. We've only confirmed 2 in human history. Discrepancies like this raise unsettling questions about what else may be passing through our solar system under the label of natural. During its mission near Santa Cruz Hill, the Perseverance rover captured something that made mission control do a double-take: strange movement in the planetary sky. At first, the footage showed only a small, fast-moving speck, but when scientists zoomed in, the object looked dark and moved in a pattern that didn't match any known atmospheric phenomenon. The supernatural theory suggests advanced technology not built by humans. Others looked at the shape and movement pattern and saw something biological, something shaped specifically for Mars's thin atmosphere. If objects are already hovering above Mars, if something is already there watching our rovers, then maybe the planet isn't as quiet as we've always been told. Do you think the strange movement is more likely an unusual Martian atmospheric phenomenon? Let's discuss in the comments section. In March 2020, researchers from the Cydonia Institute released a study on strange formations spotted on Mars using satellite photos. They identified shapes that looked like 4- and 5-sided pyramids, along with a line of unusual mountains. In the same region, there's something that looks like a human face carved into the land. Not the famous face on Mars from the Viking missions, but a different one, equally detailed, equally impossible to explain away as shadows and rocks. The discovery reignited the debate about whether Mars once hosted an ancient civilization. To NASA, these shapes are just rocks, products of wind erosion and pareidolia. But to others, they're the planet's oldest secrets waiting to be uncovered. After 15 months of operations on Mars, NASA's Perseverance rover and the Ingenuity helicopter revealed a finding that unsettled the scientific community. While surveying terrain near a former landing site, Ingenuity recorded high-resolution images of unusual metallic wreckage scattered across the Martian surface, where twisted panels and shredded materials resembled fragments of a destroyed spacecraft. The debris, likely remnants of Perseverance's own landing equipment, appears to have been dispersed by the extreme forces generated during atmospheric entry and descent. This observation, however, extends beyond a technical curiosity and introduces a deeper concern regarding planetary contamination. As increasing amounts of Earth-manufactured material accumulate on Mars, the integrity of efforts to identify truly indigenous Martian substances becomes more difficult to preserve. The growing unease lies in the possibility that human exploration is altering the planet's environment before its original conditions are fully understood. In 2017, during an analysis of satellite imagery from Mars, an unusual formation was identified within a large crater in the region Utopia. The structure appeared to depict a profiled human-like face, complete with discernible features resembling a beard, a mustache, and a helmet adorned with what seemed to be a bird-shaped headdress. When researchers compared it to Earth's Badlands Guardian in Canada, the resemblance was impossible to ignore, as both displayed comparable stylistic elements and prominent avian symbolism. The N-tilt filter, used to equalize signals from sources buried at different depths, reveals sharper edges and geometric patterns that shouldn't exist if this were purely natural erosion. Such parallels have prompted speculation about markers of a deeper connection between early Earth and Mars. Within this framework, some interpretations suggest that the culture responsible for the Martian formation may have maintained a direct relationship with the origins of the human race. European spacecraft have recorded dark formations on the Martian surface that strikingly resemble enormous spiders with elongated, slender legs, an appearance that initially prompted widespread curiosity. Subsequent investigation determined that these features are not physical structures, but shadow patterns formed when seasonal sunlight penetrates translucent ice, triggering the sublimation of frozen carbon dioxide and producing geyser-like eruptions beneath the surface. Some researchers compared them to microbialites, structures created by ancient bacterial colonies. If that's what these are, then this rock isn't just evidence of water, it's evidence of life. In contrast to this clarified phenomenon, NASA's Perseverance rover later encountered a dense rock embedded with hundreds of remarkably uniform spherical fragments, whose striking perfection led to the name St. Paul's Bay. This unusual formation may preserve crucial clues to some of Mars's most ancient and elusive geological processes. NASA's Curiosity rover spotted something that looks exactly like a tree stump, a shape with visible rings and a central protrusion. Some said Mars was once a habitable planet with forests, oxygen, and a protective magnetic field, and this could be the last standing tree from that era. Others claimed it might be proof that life still exists on Mars, perhaps underground, with this stump being a remnant that somehow survived. NASA hasn't confirmed anything unusual about the formation, calling it just another rock shaped by wind and time. But if this formation was created by an impact, the concentric patterns tell us about the subsurface structure of Mars at the moment of collision. It's like a geological X-ray, showing us layers of Martian history we couldn't see any other way. An image once captured by NASA's rover generated widespread intrigue and debate about the nature of certain features on Mars. Two human-like figures standing near a half-buried object. Initially dismissed as rocks, the shapes became clearer after independent researchers applied contrast and edge detection filters. One figure appeared to be pointing, the other observing, both resembling astronauts with defined limbs and backpack-like forms. Nearby was a structure resembling a damaged aircraft, with sharp geometry paneling and a cockpit-like shape unlike natural rock. While pareidolia is a possible explanation, it has been suggested that, if the structure were genuinely artificial, it could represent the remnants of an ancient spacecraft predating any human presence on Mars. NASA satellites recorded an unexpected formation on the Martian surface when high-resolution imagery revealed a shape bearing a striking resemblance to a teddy bear's face. The image rapidly circulated online, where it was widely interpreted by some as suggestive evidence of life on the red planet. Scientists from the University of Arizona later clarified that the appearance could be explained through natural geological processes, noting that the apparent eyes were impact craters, while the snout resulted from a collapsed landform, likely influenced by ancient lava flows or mud activity. Despite these explanations, alternative interpretations persist, with some observers proposing that an unknown force may have shaped the Martian landscape in ways that produce recognizable patterns, or even that the formation represents the fossilized remains of a massive organism that once inhabited the planet. A photograph captured by NASA's Curiosity rover in 2012 has recently attracted renewed attention due to an unusual object visible on the Martian surface. The image appears to show a small, light-colored structure resembling an insect cocoon or a piece of shed skin, measuring approximately 1.3 centimeters in length. Its shape and texture have led some observers to speculate that it could be the remnants of a tiny lifeform that may once have existed on Mars. Although NASA has not identified the object as anything out of the ordinary, its ambiguous appearance continues to prompt curiosity and discussion. The European Space Agency launched the Rosetta spacecraft on a mission to study Comet Churyumov-Gerasimenko, employing gravitational assists from both Earth and Mars to accelerate its roughly 6 billion-kilometer journey. As Rosetta approached within about 120 kilometers of the comet, its cameras transmitted remarkably detailed images of a rugged and irregular surface shaped by ice and dust. Amid this footage, however, an unexpected anomaly appeared in the form of a shadowy figure seemingly hovering above the comet, positioned as though it were observing the scene below. The silhouette bore an uncanny resemblance to a humanoid or alien-like presence, prompting speculation that extended beyond conventional explanations. If interpreted literally, Such an image would suggest that extraterrestrial observers may not be confined to distant orbits, but could be actively monitoring human exploration efforts throughout space. While surveying a rugged region of Mars, known to preserve evidence of ancient water activity, a NASA rover captured an image that provoked intense interest among researchers on Earth. Embedded within the field of dust-covered red rocks, a distinctly unusual feature drew attention, a precisely shaped cylindrical object resting on the surface. Its regular form immediately set it apart from the surrounding geology, prompting debate over its origin, with some suggesting it could be debris from an earlier mission, while others consider more provocative possibilities involving past intelligent activity on the planet. Regardless of its ultimate explanation, the discovery has contributed to a fundamental shift in how the red planet is perceived, reinforcing the notion that Mars may still hold unexpected and transformative surprises. For the first time in human history, the sound of wind was successfully recorded on the surface of Mars. NASA's InSight lander detected the subtle vibrations produced by moving air using a highly sensitive seismometer in combination with its air pressure sensor, capturing winds that flowed across the Martian plains at speeds of approximately 10 to 15 miles per hour. Because the original frequencies were far below the range of human hearing, scientists adjusted the pitch to render the signals audible. The resulting audio revealed a haunting, low-toned resonance, evoking an otherworldly breeze carried across a planet millions of miles from Earth. These recordings provided an unprecedented sensory connection to Mars, offering a tangible impression of the planet's environment beyond visual observation alone. What initially appeared to be unremarkable rocks took on a far more provocative character after NASA's Curiosity rover transmitted images from the region known as Dingo Gap. Within the collection of photographs, a group of amateur analysts identified forms they found deeply unsettling, including what seemed to resemble a human-like statue standing amid the Martian terrain. Further scrutiny of the same images led to additional claims of objects bearing similarities to a sarcophagus and even a Buddha-like figure, all seemingly embedded within the rocky landscape. Such interpretations raise the question of whether these shapes result solely from lighting conditions, shadows, and natural erosion, or whether they point towards something far less conventional. In light of these observations, the long-held perception of Mars as a completely barren world continues to face renewed and persistent challenge. Do you think the shapes seen in the Curiosity images are evidence of something unconventional on Mars? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to check out more interesting content in the top right corner of your screen. Their presence appears contradictory, yet the formations are unmistakably scattered across the surface, like ancient markers of a long-forgotten process. Recent imagery has revealed an unexpected phenomenon: clusters of tiny, precisely shaped volcano-like structures distributed across an otherwise barren Martian landscape. This discovery is particularly puzzling, because Mars is widely regarded as geologically inactive, and the regularity of these formations seems inconsistent with random natural erosion. If conventional volcanic processes cannot adequately explain their origin, questions arise regarding what forces were responsible for shaping them. Long defined by unresolved questions and anomalies, Mars continues to defy straightforward interpretation, with this finding adding yet another layer to the enduring mysteries the planet has yet to relinquish. Mars has experienced countless impacts over its long history, yet one event in the Amazonas Planitia region stood apart from the rest. A powerful meteorite strike carved a crater measuring nearly 500 feet in diameter and approximately 70 feet in depth, drawing immediate attention from NASA scientists. The significance of the impact was underscored when the InSight lander detected the resulting seismic waves, marking it as one of the most substantial impact events ever directly recorded on the red planet. This discovery also fits within a broader pattern of unusual finds, as earlier missions had already revealed Mars's long-standing role as a collector of cosmic debris. In 2005, for example, the Opportunity rover encountered an iron-nickel meteorite on the surface, confirming that spaceborne material has been accumulating on Mars for millions of years. The dry and dust-laden landscape of Mars preserves subtle traces of a dramatically different past. In February 2023, scientists reported the discovery of rippled rock formations along the foothills of a Martian mountain. structures that are widely interpreted as the result of sediment being shaped by moving water at the bottom of an ancient lake. These features represent some of the most compelling evidence yet uncovered for the long-term presence of liquid water on the planet's surface. The implication that stable lakes once existed naturally raises questions about whether such environments could have supported life, even if no definitive conclusions can yet be drawn. Nonetheless, the finding marks a significant step toward reconstructing the environmental history of Mars and understanding the conditions that once prevailed there. One particularly baffling image has drawn attention due to the unusual form of an object resting on the Martian surface. At first glance, the structure appears almost unnervingly precise, evoking comparisons to a petrified, unidentified flying object and seeming too symmetrical to be the product of ordinary geological processes. Upon closer inspection, however, the same object takes on a different character, resembling a crocodile-like figure seemingly frozen in place and partially merged with the surrounding Martian dust. Captured by one of NASA's rovers, the image has reignited debate over whether such features are merely the result of erosion and lighting effects, or represent something more enigmatic. As similar anomalies continue to emerge, the growing body of evidence reinforces the notion that Mars remains a planet rich in unanswered questions, with anticipation building for clearer imagery that may help resolve this latest mystery. While conducting routine exploration of the Martian surface, NASA's Curiosity rover captured an image of an unexpected object that stood out against the surrounding terrain, a small plastic fragment. Subsequent analysis confirmed that the material was not an alien artifact but rather debris originating from Curiosity's own 2012 landing, most likely a piece of shrink tubing from the descent stage that had gradually become dislodged. Although seemingly insignificant in size, the find underscored broader concerns about planetary contamination, as even minor foreign materials can interfere with sensitive scientific instruments and sampling processes. As the rover continued its mission, the discovery served as a tangible reminder that human exploration has already begun to leave physical traces on Mars, long before any human presence on the planet itself. As it traversed the dust-covered terrain, NASA's Curiosity rover encountered an object that sharply contrasted with the surrounding landscape, a shiny metallic mass that reflected light unlike the planet's typical reddish stones. The unusual appearance immediately set it apart, prompting further investigation that led scientists to identify it as an iron-nickel meteorite, most likely a fragment of an asteroid that impacted Mars in the distant past. Informally named Egg Rock, the object was examined using Curiosity's high-powered laser instrument, which confirmed its distinctly metallic composition. Although the discovery of a meteorite on another planet is uncommon, this finding offers valuable insight into the long history of cosmic collisions that have played a significant role in shaping the Martian surface over geological time. An unusual phenomenon was observed rising high above the Martian surface, and its true nature has yet to be conclusively determined. In 2012, amateur astronomers detected a mysterious plume extending more than 55 miles above Mars, a striking anomaly, given that clouds under comparable atmospheric conditions rarely reach such altitudes. The formation spanned an estimated 620 miles across, exhibited noticeable changes in shape from day to day, and persisted for approximately 10 days before dissipating. Scientists proposed that the feature might represent an exceptionally rare cloud composed of ice crystals or fine dust, yet no existing atmospheric models have been able to explain how such a structure could form or remain stable at that height. As a result, the origin of this extraordinary Martian plume continues to elude definitive explanation. A peculiar rock formation on Mars has unsettled many observers due to its striking resemblance to former U.S. President Barack Obama, an appearance that has prompted reactions extending well beyond conventional geological interpretation. While such likenesses can often be attributed to coincidence and the human tendency to recognize familiar patterns in random shapes, the discovery has nevertheless fueled more speculative interpretations. Some view the resemblance as a symbolic anomaly, while others question whether it suggests forces or influences that remain poorly understood. If natural processes on Mars can produce formations that so closely mirror recognizable human features, the phenomenon underscores how perception, symbolism, and geology can intersect in unexpected ways. As exploration continues and scrutiny deepens, Mars repeatedly demonstrates that the more closely it is examined, the more enigmatic it appears. A familiar shape appearing in an unfamiliar world has sparked renewed debate about the origins of certain Martian formations. raising the possibility that what is observed may be either the product of natural processes or the result of deliberate design. A recently identified keyhole-shaped structure on Mars bears a striking resemblance to a similar formation found on Earth, a similarity that some observers dismiss as a coincidence while others regard it with deeper suspicion. Among more speculative interpretations, the formations are viewed as potentially connected, perhaps functioning as markers, signals, or even entrances created with intentional purpose. If structures were indeed fashioned on Mars in the distant past, questions naturally arise regarding who created them and what objectives they served. With each discovery, Mars continues to offer more mysteries than conclusions, reinforcing the sense that its surface, and what may lie beneath it, still holds unanswered questions that humanity is only beginning to confront. A haunting, motionless figure appears perched upon a Martian rock, though it shows no sign of life. Captured in an image from the Red Planet, the formation seems petrified, as though frozen in time by forces long past. Its posture and outline invite unsettling interpretations, ranging from the remnants of a being that once traversed the Martian surface to the possibility of a traveler from elsewhere who never completed a return journey. The profound stillness surrounding the shape only amplifies the sense of mystery, lending the scene an unsettling gravity. With each such discovery, Mars appears less like a barren wasteland and increasingly like a world that may hold forgotten stories embedded within its landscape. Mars isn't the barren wasteland we once imagined. These 27 discoveries aren't just geological curiosities, they're clues to the greatest mystery in science. Are we alone in the universe? The answer may be waiting in those samples currently stored aboard Perseverance, scheduled to return to Earth in the 2030s. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss our upcoming journeys. We hope you enjoyed this video as much as we enjoyed creating it. See you in the next video.